Good morning. Just wanted to wish you all happy Thanksgiving, Bushcraft Pathfinder. Um, yeah, what's going on with this camera here? Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. It is Thanksgiving morning. It's almost noon here. I kind of slept in and am currently, let me switch the camera so you can see what's going on. I'm currently in process of preparing a Thanksgiving. I'm basically baking some pork ribs, which I need to flip, and gonna be having that with some rice, which is still cooking, some green beans from Walmart, and I do have some cranberry sauce. You know the wow, look at that, Doesn't that look good? I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. I did cut the pieces so it would cook a little bit faster and more thoroughly. I was originally going to put it on the grill, but then decided, you know what? I don't want to mess with the fire and all that. It's just going to be simpler to bake it. Since I have this toaster oven, I might as well just go ahead and bake it in the toaster oven. And if you want to know how I marinated it, it's the same stuff I normally use. I just basically have badia. I used the badia and then some chopped onions. See the onion flakes there? And then I poured a little bit of soy sauce on it, like maybe about 7 or 8 caps of soy sauce. So basically the same way I normally season this stuff, and that's pretty much it. And then it's just a matter of sticking it in here and baking it, until it's done. So I am flipping it to make sure it bakes a little bit better. And look at that. That's like the ribs. So the brown sauce you see under there, the drippings are actually soy sauce, and that's what's going to give it the flavoring. Soy sauce with badia and onions. So we'll put that back in. Uh-oh. I don't know if I screwed this up or what. All right, that's messed up. Okay. So we kind of got that in and just have this on cook. I found out, this particular cooker, it has like a timer, but it's only like 3 to 5 minutes for toast. But if you set it on instead of the timer, like turning it to the right puts it on timer, but turning it to the left leaves it on constantly. So you can actually have this cook like a longer meal. I didn't know that, but I found that out later. Anyhow, that is going to go ahead and bake. The rice is on warm. I've cooked enough rice for me for lunch and dinner. So dinner, I'm just going to heat things up. And this is not on yet. I'm using electric to cook everything, just to save on fuel, on money. Having some orange juice right now, but I've got some Mountain Dew. And you might notice the plate is set for one, because this Thanksgiving, I am pretty much spending it by myself. Somewhat by choice, somewhat not by choice, but basically my kids are with their mom and their grandmother and stuff for this Thanksgiving, so that kind of leaves me by myself. And in a way, I kind of want to be by myself, because this is kind of a solemn Thanksgiving. I know the title says Happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully you're going to have the best Thanksgiving that you can have, given the world situation. My own situation is one of just, being grateful for what I do have. And, I've got really good food. I can cook it up. This is something I couldn't do if I was just like in the van. It's a little bit more difficult, or in the mini camper over there in the distance, it'd be a little bit more difficult. But while I have electricity and stuff, I can still use it to cook. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for having the RV to sleep in. It's got air conditioning. It's got all the comforts of home, at least for now, because this is going to go away soon. So I'm very grateful for that. A little sad for the losses, that a lot of people encountered this past year. Family, dying, and just the hardship that everyone has had to endure. I wanted to let you know what's been going on this end. I've been busy. Go ahead and put it on me if you want to see my ugly mug. Let's check this food, make sure it doesn't burn. But maybe I'll turn the heat down just a little bit. I had it set for like maximum, so I'll set it to maybe 375, just to let it bake a little longer, so we can talk. Let me set this up and we'll set the camera and see if you can't see me. All right, this is me. Try to get it a little bit wider. Maybe I need to move back or something. There we go. So my face isn't like totally all over the screen here, too big. But anyhow, I hope you can hear me. I want to let you know what's been going on. I basically have been in process of trying to stock my online store, the virtual store, the cyber store, with gear that initially, for now, is gear that I think van dwellers would find useful. Things like solar panels, charge kits. Was looking at inverters and stuff, but I've decided not to stock inverters, and I'll explain why I'm not stocking certain items. But also ran into some issues, and I'm seeing some bad stuff. When I say bad stuff, I mean even my new business venture may have already failed because I jumped on board too late because of the new policies that are going into effect. And I'm going to explain to you what's going on right now with that. Okay, first thing, trying to find a supplier, a decent supplier, is actually kind of difficult. There literally are hundreds of them out there. I'm going, lower end, not super high end, because I want to make my stuff affordable, but also to make sure that it is usable. I'm trying to order it and see how the supplier reacts, because that's how they would ship to a client. I'm not letting them know that I'm drop shipping, not yet, because I want to see how they react given a situation. I believe in like honor in doing your business. But basically, what I found is at least one of the suppliers that I was scouting, after I paid for everything, sent a second notice jacking up the price. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that can occur when you're ordering online. They basically said, and there's truth in it, but I don't like their business practice. What happened was I found the item, I found the shipping fee, it said it was free shipping or whatever. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and take it because of the free shipping and the price seems fair. I need to test it out. And, I don't really need the item, but a viewer on my channel might. And basically it's an amplified antenna for TV reception. So if you had a TV in your RV or your van or whatever, and you wanted a little bit of an antenna, a small one that could be put in the vehicle to amplify your signal so you can get some HD TV and whatever for free, you would have that option to order through me. Well, I ordered the item. Then they sent me a notice saying that, well, their logistics, whatever, said that there's an increase on the shipping costs, and they were going to bill me the increase. So I could either accept it or decline it. And then they made it really difficult to decline. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, the fee was only $1 more, which isn't a lot, and a lot of people would just say, it's $1 more, I'll pay it. But to me, it's an extortion fee. You've already agreed on the item and the shipment price, and you've already paid it. They've already charged it out of my my PayPal or whatever. So they already got the money. And then they send me a notice saying they want to up the price by $1, which to me, I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit. I don't deal with people like that. So I opted to get my refund, but I don't know if I'm going to get the refund. So that's one of the caveats you deal with when you're trying to order things from overseas or even stateside. It depends on who's doing the business. So I got to find suppliers who are consistent, who are honest, have some integrity and stuff, because those are the kind of people I try to deal with. So this particular company, I wrote them and said, look, I want my money back. And I listed all the specifications they had me list, saying why I wanted it back. But then I also told them, I'm not going to consider them as a drop shipment supplier, which to them would be a big hurt, because these are small other people, similar to me. They're not like big companies. But for him to get a stateside drop shipper who has a decent YouTube following, like right now, a lot of those companies actually contact me to try to be a sponsor for this company. So for him to lose me, I didn't show him all that, but that was kind of a loss on his end. He kind of screwed himself over for $1, okay? Because I know I would have ordered more than one. I don't know how many. It depends on how many people want to install TV in their vehicle. But he lost a regular customer that would have ordered more than one. The other thing that I found that may destroy the whole business It's kind of bullshit the way things are occurring, but it all ties into COVID. But worse than that, the new trade policies that were instituted. I know Donald Trump says, he's pro-American and all that, which some of his policies are pro-American business, okay? The problem is when he says he's pro-American business, he's not talking about you and me. He's talking about Walmart, Amazon. He's talking about the mega corporations, because this is what I found out as I'm trying to find suppliers. And I don't know if you saw my other broadcast. I was talking about shipment. It's crazy. It's like in the past, you could order items from China, which is where I'm getting most of my items from because they're cheap. Okay. They had free shipment. So that meant that you could order really low price, okay, and shipment was either really low or free. And you could pass that savings on to your consumers, your customers, your final customers. Well, with the new deal that Donald Trump instigated, he signed a thing saying that countries receiving those shipments from China could charge whatever they wanted on the shipment. So items from China that used to cost like $15, China is still selling it at $15, but to ship it to the United States, $150. Yeah, what the fuck? So you could buy something for $15, but if you wanted it shipped to the United States, it's $150. Who the hell's going to buy that? It's a $15 item that retail, if you were selling it here, you could probably get maybe, $35 to $50 for it, would be the value. On my end, I'd probably charge something like $35 for it. It cost me $15 to acquire it. The problem is now it would cost me $180 to acquire an item that at most I could sell for $35 to $50. So what it means is items like that can't be sold by a small person like me. But a company like Amazon or the people who manage, have money in their bank accounts, what they do is they buy directly from the manufacturer. So they're not even paying $15. They might pay $5 per unit. And then they will buy in bulk. They don't buy like one. They'll buy like maybe 10,000, 1 million, okay, in bulk. And then they ship it to the United States. Then they hold it in their warehouse and then they can sell it. So if they're buying it for $5 and they're paying shipment, because shipment cost is going up, okay, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But all this I'm learning is I'm trying to get into drop shipment, learning about shipping and international orders and what's happening with transportation. But anyhow, what it means is a company that has money wherever they're based, they would contact the manufacturer directly in China, because that's where most of the stuff is manufactured nowadays, okay? And then they would order it in bulk at $5, like they might get 10,000 of them. Then they have it shipped to the United States for like maybe $100, $200 or something like that. Because then, the shipment, it's like per item, okay? But they could order a box or a caseload, and the shipping might still only be $100. It's worth it then if you got 10,000 of them. But a small person like me is not going to order 10,000 of those items. I can't even order 100 of them. I don't have storage. And I told you my issue when I bought digital cameras and what happened when the market fell. I was stuck with digital cameras I couldn't sell, and I lost $2,000 in my endeavor, okay? Which by business standards isn't too much, but for a single person trying to start up a side business, $2,000 is huge, okay? So that's a problem. And so, I was looking at it, I was like, well, that means small people that are trying to do drop shipment in the United States and even Europe are running into this problem. You're buying an item for like $1, but to ship it from China to your country can run anywhere from like $10 to $30 to $100 or more. It's a $1 item, okay? You can't sell that for a profit. But somebody who has the ability to buy in bulk directly, not from the middleman like I'm buying from, but directly from the manufacturer, they can do that. And the only people that can do that kind of stuff is like on Walmart, okay? Walmart will buy in bulk. So I was looking at it, I was like, well, shit, the same item they're selling at Walmart, I could get, okay, for more expensive than I can just walk into Walmart to buy it. So the only way I can actually do this is, but see, then I run into another problem. And this is how Walmart makes their profit. They're not worried about me buying from Walmart and having this issue. What happens is If I buy it from Walmart, like off the shelf, then I have to package it and ship it. Then I have to pay FedEx, UPS, whatever to pay. And they're going to charge me anywhere from $10 to $30 to ship that item. So suddenly that item that I bought cheaper at Walmart to ship it across my own country, whatever country I'm in, could cost me $30. In other words, a small guy trying to start his business up, doing drop shipment, is going to be having a very difficult time. So I know I'm going to have to spend a lot of time trying to find suppliers that can ship. But now I'm still trying to deal with China because that's where you're going to get the best prices. But the problem is I'm looking in the future and I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to go, because even those that are offering me like free shipment or really low shipment prices, it's going to get jacked up come January 1st, 2021. A new law or whatever goes in the United States, and shipment's going to cost 300% more, 3 times more. So what used to cost $4, $5 to ship could end up costing $15, $20 just to ship it. And we're talking an item that's selling, that I'm buying for about $5 to $20. So to stay in business, you'd have to pass that cost on to the customer, which I'm like, screw this shit, because if I have to pass that cost on to the customer, that customer is better off going to Walmart and buying the same item for much less than I would have to charge for it. You understand? So I don't want to go into business and just rip off my customers and have them buy stuff through me just because they're loyal to me, especially if the price is going to be 2 or 3 times what they could go get it at Walmart, because they can just walk into that store and get it. So those are things I'm considering, and because of that, I'm having to not stock certain items. Some of those items I wanted to stock, but I'm thinking I'm not going to stock, are like power inverters. You could get a power inverter, like I wanted a 750 watt to 1000 watt inverter. I think that's an ideal size for a camper van or a car. You could run your rice cooker, you could run power tools in case you had to build something off your house battery or your car battery. You could do it off those things. We know that you only need 400 watts. I'd say 400 watts minimum. So if you wanted a 400 watt minimum, you could run the rice cooker. If that's all you're wanting to do is cook with the rice cooker. Let me check my food here and make sure it's not burnt. Okay, I am going to turn the heat off because I don't want it burning. All right, I don't know if you can hear the ticking there, but basically, for me to get a power inverter, and because of the tariffs and stuff on it, it would cost the same or more to get it to me than it would cost for you to go buy it at Walmart. That means there's no profit margin. I can't make any money on it unless somebody wants to pay me 2 or 3 times more than what they could get it from Walmart. Okay? And I'm like, well, that's not going to be a viable business model. So those items that are like that are going to be too expensive, I am not going to offer. You just have to pick it up locally, because I'm trying to save you money. It's the same item I would sell. I'm selling the same item as Walmart, but I don't have the purchasing power of Walmart. So, and I'm not going to pass the cost on to the consumer, because it would just be astronomical. For the same item you can get much cheaper at Walmart. It's the exact same item. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So it's going to limit what I offer. The other thing is I'm starting to look at American shipment, and that's going to have a regular more consistent rate, but the price is going to be higher. And what's happening with that is, like, some people in America who have money, like let's say they have $1 million or whatever for their business, or even $10,000, $100,000 to spend on their business, they buy in bulk from China, from the manufacturer, and then they ship from the United States. Or the Chinese manufacturer is sending their people to the United States, but that's hard to come live here. They could end up recruiting somebody to run a warehouse from here. So they ship their items from overseas, and they pay the shipping fee, but it's not for one, it's for like 1 million of them. Okay, so the price is lower, and it comes and it sits in a warehouse, and then when you order it, they ship it to you from the United States. So the shipping cost, instead of being $100, it's going to be like $10. But see, in the end, what happens is the companies that do that, they can afford to do that, are going to be bigger companies, and they will continue to make their profit. But the small guy who wants to do like a drop shipment because he doesn't want to have inventory and deal with potential loss of 1 million units that you can't sell, okay, is screwed. Because for me to sell the same item, even at cost, it would be like $150. That's what they've done. They've set the price so that big businesses are protected. Companies that can order in bulk and can absorb the loss. But they're not going to lose because they're ordering it in bulk. Small guys, family guys, we're screwed. So the idea of getting my game out and selling is starting to look a lot better because then I control everything. There is no shipment cost if I deliver digitally, and even if it's shipment, it's through the post office. So it's going to be, like you're shipping a USB stick. I wouldn't even ship a CD-ROM or disc. I'd ship a USB stick, memory stick with the game on it. So it would be very minimal. But the problem with that is you got to develop the game and you got to market it. And it's got to be popular to make it worthwhile. It's a lot harder now. Some people say, well, you could just write a game. And I saw Timothy said, hey, Denoy, you could just write a phone game and whatever. Have you looked at the App Store? 99% of the stuff out there is crap. The problem is, even if your stuff's not crap, when you release it, it sits in there with the other 99% of crap. Nobody's going to find your stuff. Not unless you spend a lot of money advertising. That's why you see on Facebook and all these things, they do really interesting advertising that doesn't even show the actual product. Like they'll have, I don't know if you've seen those game ads where they show a game that looks like it would be fun to play, but then you download the app. I haven't downloaded any of those, but if you download them, it's not even the same game. So they entice you to download it. Then it's not the same, but they hope that you'll at least keep playing it. I don't know what how they're making money on it. I see it as a way of pissing people off. You're not selling what you're advertising, okay? But that's a whole other thing. Am I going to proceed with my online store? Yes. Am I going to offer a million things? No. I'm only going to offer stuff that I know that I can get at a good price, can make a profit on it, and my customers will get a decent product that I have, checked out for the most part, and can 100% guarantee satisfaction. Is this going to be possible for me to do in Thailand? I won't know until we get into 2021, 2022, what they do with regards to the trade situation. And the other thing that's driving prices up has to do with COVID, okay? And shipment time. Like I was looking at shipment time to get stuff shipped from China now, 5 or 6 months. 5 or 6 months to ship something. I'm like, what that is this. In the past, what they would do is ship things on airplanes. Passengers would account for 35 to 50% of an airplane's cargo. So the airlines would carry 35 to 50% of their revenues coming from people. And the rest was coming from shipping. The Chinese were shipping things on those airplanes. So it would take like a week or two or less, sometimes even 2 days to get here from China. So they could package a bunch of crates, pallets of goods and ship it on the airplanes. Well, they can't do that anymore because a lot of airlines went out of business or aren't flying as much. They're no longer doing trips from China to the United States. So already you don't have any airplanes. The ones that do have them, remember I told you the Chinese could ship their goods really cheap in pallets? They're getting reamed. The airline jacked the price of shipment way up, saying, hey, if you want to ship from China on airplanes, the price is this, because there's no other airlines to compete. There's very few airlines flying. So when they can load their goods on there, the Chinese distributors are having to pay an astronomical shipment fee. So price of everything is going up. I don't know how they're going to fix it, because you know how things go up and then they never go down. The reasoning that they had for like Trump and all the other people wanting to jack up the price, the tariff and stuff, was they said, well, it'll make it so American businesses can compete. Well, I'm an American business and I can't compete because you just screwed my income revenue source. You mean large American businesses can compete? That's what they did to the cars. I don't know if you're old like me. If you're older than 40, 50, then you remember when you could buy a Toyota or a Honda for like $5,000 to $7,000. And they were nice, like a Honda Civic you could get for probably about $5,000 a Corolla, $5,000 Corolla. And you're like, that's cheap. But that was back in the day. No, that was back in the day when an American car that was equivalent, which wasn't as good, like a cheap little compact car in America was selling for about $12,000 to $15,000. $12,000 to $15,000. The Japanese were selling their Corollas or Hondas for about $5,000. So for one half to one third the price of an American product, you could get a superior car. Okay, and to compete with that, the United States government passed huge tariffs on those cars. So they jacked the price of the car from $5,000 up to $18,000. So the Japanese cars sell for $15,000 to $18,000 to compete against the $13,000 American cars, which are not as good as the Japanese cars. But that's how the market went, and it protected the auto manufacturers. But even now, that protection's not there anymore. And not only that, those American manufacturers shipped all the jobs overseas. That is bullshit. Okay, they still call it an American. It's an American company, but all the stuff's assembled in Thailand and Mexico, in wherever they can get cheap labor. So you're buying these American brands that are actually made overseas. Meanwhile, the Japanese and even the Koreans have actually come to the United States and made jobs where they do auto assembly and stuff. So even though they have the name Honda, Honda, Toyota, Kia and stuff, they actually, most of them are assembled in the United States by American workers. That is messed up. Okay, but that's what's happening now, even on all goods, digital and small, things that, electronics and things like that. So I will keep you posted, because I'm like, this sucks. Because this would have been a viable market a couple years ago, before all this shit occurred. But now I'm like, this is getting harder. They're killing the mom and pop shops. All that's going to be left is Walmart. You won't be able to compete. So I'm looking really hard. I'm looking at China for the best prices, but also a compromise between price and shipment and arrival time. Because I don't want, like, if you ordered through me, I don't want you to have to wait 5 months, But you might have to wait 2-3 weeks, because that's what it's taking now for shipment. So I'm trying to get stuff that will show up within a month or less, because no one wants to wait 5 months for an order. I'm also looking at American suppliers, but then the prices get astronomical, and I may have to try to negotiate drop shipment with them, which might be a little bit harder dealing with the Americans, or not so much Americans, but people in the United States, because you could be dealing with Middle Easterners who have money. They come here to invest, and then they buy 10,000, 100,000 units from China, and then they're reselling in the United States. So basically, you're dealing with people who have enough money to actually import the stuff here, and then you're buying from them, which means profit's already down, and then you got to deal with shipment. So either they're going to make you pay the shipment, which they do. That means just the consumer's screwed. If I stay in business, I have to have a profit, otherwise it's not worth running the business. But the consumer ends up having to pay for all that extra stuff, all the shipments, all the tariffs and stuff, which is messed up. But it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm going to continue to develop my game, but not in a rush, because I need a stable income. The problem with the game is I could put in 2 years. See, I think Timothy doesn't understand. If you're trying to write a good product, chances are you can't write it in 1 week or 2 weeks or a month. It might take you a year or 2 or 3. And not only that, if I want good music, good graphics and stuff, I have to hire people. I have to pay money out. Then, I do have the ability to host and to do e-commerce with it and sell it myself, which saves me some money. But if I didn't, that's a lot more money too. And then the final problem is this. Your game is going to go into a pool of more than 1 million other games that may be worse than yours or better than yours. And your game is not going to be known unless you advertise. And if you advertise, that's going to be super expensive. I mean, I could advertise on my channel, but this is not a gaming channel. This is a van dwelling channel. So trying to run game ads, if some of my viewers do play games, it's going to be a very small number, not a gaming community. Okay. So those are some of the obstacles that I'm running into, but I'll share with you what happens, and we'll see how it goes. Because I'm learning, just like I learned how to monetize the YouTube channel. I try to keep updates and share with you issues that occur that you run into that you weren't aware of. I wasn't aware of. But now I'm aware of them, and I continue to deal with them. and we'll see if the business actually even becomes real. I am going to, my first order is supposedly shipped already, and that is the shower, the portable shower system. It's basically a shower head with a hose, with a pump on the end, with a battery pack that can be charged through USB. So I ordered that, I think at a reasonable price, and I think I can get a reasonable markup on it to still make it a good item to order. I just need to get it, test it, show it to you guys, and then list it for sale. If I don't make any sales on it, my loss will be the purchase price of that one unit. That's what's good about drop shipping. My investment isn't $10,000. My investment isn't whatever. Like right now, I'm investing probably, by the time I finish, I'm probably going to try to invest probably about $500 to $1,000. That's about it. That's my gamble. If I have to spend more than that, I can't afford it. But if the investment proves profitable, then I can keep it going. And the investment cost is basically me ordering the products, going through and trying to find a supplier, and then making sure it all works as they promise, as they say, because a lot of times they lie. Those manufacturers outright lie about what the product does or how good it is. So I want to hand review and make sure that what I'm selling is actually what people expect. I don't want people disappointed. Remember the motto, I think, of success in anything you try to do in life, when you try to sell things, is whatever service or item you provide should make somebody's life better. Okay, in some way, shape, or form, it should give them some happiness. It should make them be able to do things in a more efficient manner, cheaper, safer, whatever. It should help them. And if they order an item from you and it ends up being a disappointment, you're not meeting that motto, which means your business probably sucks. You're probably either in it for profit or you don't care about your customers. And I do care about my customers. I do care about my viewers. I do care about even strangers coming in and buying stuff from me because my name's on it, my reputation. And I don't think it's fair to rip people off. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out because this video is running on and on. I'm going to look real quick at your comments. Happy Thanksgiving. Let me do a shout out to everybody. George, good to see you on here. Gail, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. And Neil, Chance, happy Thanksgiving. Lena, happy Thanksgiving. MC, happy Thanksgiving. And AA Angry. Cabin Bound. Cabin Bound. It says, I'm the most uninformed person on YouTube. So, the Spider says, happy Thanksgiving to you. Idoji, happy Thanksgiving. And Gary, happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I hope you all are enjoying your Thanksgiving day wherever you are, making the most of it. For those of you who have suffered some losses this year, my thoughts are with you. My prayers continue for you. I myself am, like I said, just going to spend the Thanksgiving holiday cleaning up my RV and getting things prepped. And I guess spending time with myself and God, maybe. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please take care. And stay safe, everybody.